The city was already a skeleton. Buildings stood as hollow shells, their windows blasted out, their walls blackened from endless bombardments. Smoke draped Berlin like a funeral shroud, and the ground trembled constantly beneath the thunder of Soviet artillery. It was April 26, 1945. Unter den Linden, once a proud boulevard, was now a graveyard of steel. Burnt-out panzers lay in the street, their turrets twisted off like broken toys. Between them, Sergeant Karl Ritter guided what remained of his panzer crew, one of the last operational Tiger IIs in the city. Inside the armored beast, every man understood the truth. They were fighting not for victory but for survival, or perhaps simply to buy another hour for Berlin. "Load armor-piercing," Ritter barked, his voice hoarse. Private Ernst Mahler, the loader, slammed a massive 88mm shell into the breach. The tank shuddered as the Maybach engine roared. Outside, Soviet T-34s were advancing, their silhouettes emerging through smoke and dust. "Target, left!" shouted Otto Brandt, the gunner. The Tiger's cannon roared, unleashing thunder in the ruins. The lead T-34 erupted in flames, its turret flying skyward. The German crew cheered briefly, but their joy died as 3 more Soviet tanks rolled forward, undeterred. For the Soviets, Berlin was not just an objective, it was the symbol of ultimate victory. Marshal Zhukov's armies poured across the Oder and into the city, wave after wave of men and machines. The Red Army had learned to fear German armor in the early years of the war, but now they came with overwhelming firepower. Lieutenant Sergei Volkov, commanding a T-34-85, clenched his jaw as his battalion advanced down Wilhelmstrasse. His tank jolted over craters and rubble while machine gun fire rattled against its armor. From his hatch, he could see the fires consuming Berlin, painting the night sky a hellish orange. "Enemy heavy tank," came the warning over the radio. Volkov spotted it, the silhouette of a Tiger II, its cannon swinging like a predator. He knew the danger. The German heavy tank could kill him in a single shot, even at long range. "Flank it," he ordered, directing his driver toward a side street. 2 other T-34s followed, engines howling as they maneuvered through the rubble. The duel began. Inside the Tiger II, Ritter's crew braced. "They're spreading out," Brandt warned. Ritter gritted his teeth. "Then we'll take them one at a time." The gun fired again, obliterating another T-34 in a blast that shook the ruins. But as Muller reloaded, a Soviet shell slammed into the Tiger's frontal armor. Sparks erupted inside, and the crew was thrown against their seats. "Armor's holding," shouted Heinrich Weber, the driver, sweat streaming down his soot-streaked face. Another impact. The steel giant groaned but did not die. Ritter exhaled, his heart pounding. "Return fire." The cannon thundered again. 1 more Soviet tank was torn apart. Yet even as the crew cheered, Volkov's T-34 slipped into position on the flank. Volkov's gunner lined up the shot. "Now, comrade!" The T-34's 85mm cannon fired, striking the Tiger II side armor. The blast penetrated, igniting flames inside the German tank. Ritter's crew screamed as smoke and fire engulfed the cabin. Muller tried to pull the hatch open, but another shell tore into the engine compartment. "Abandon tank!" Ritter roared, kicking the hatch free. Flames licked his uniform as he scrambled out, dragging Muller with him. Brandt and Weber followed, their faces blackened and eyes burning from smoke. Behind them, their once invincible Tiger II burned, ammunition cooking off in thunderous explosions. The German crew staggered into the ruins, coughing, ears ringing. Around them, the city groaned under artillery fire. The Soviet advance pressed relentlessly. Volkov's battalion pushed forward, leaving the burning Tiger behind as they cleared block after block. Resistance stiffened as German infantry, Volkssturmboys, and SS fanatics fought from basements and barricades. Panzerfausts flashed from windows, taking Soviet tanks with them, but for each one lost, 5 more replaced it. Ritter and his surviving crew joined a desperate pocket of infantry. Armed with rifles and a few Panzerfausts, they barricaded a street corner near the Reichstag. Exhaustion clung to them like lead, but none surrendered. Night fell, but the battle never ceased. Artillery lit the sky like lightning, and the ground shook as Soviet Katyusha rockets screamed overhead. Ritter stared across the burning cityscape, his thoughts numb. "This is the end," he whispered. Muller, the youngest, only 19, looked at him with wide eyes. Then let us make it a soldier's end. April 30th arrived. The Soviet push toward the Reichstag was unstoppable. Volkov's unit rolled forward under heavy fire, determined to plant the red banner on the heart of the Nazi capital. As his T-34 approached, resistance grew fierce. Ritter and his ragged band of defenders unleashed their last fury. Panzerfaust rockets streaked through the night, striking Soviet tanks. Volkov's radio crackled with reports of losses. "Suppress them," he roared. His gunner fired shell after shell into the barricades. Buildings collapsed, burying defenders under stone and steel. Still, the Germans fought like cornered wolves. Volkov's tank rolled within sight of the Reichstag when a Panzerfaust fired by Müller struck its side. The explosion rocked the T-34, knocking Volkov against his seat. Smoke filled the cabin. "Fires contained!" the mechanic shouted, extinguishing the flames. Volkov clenched his fists. They were so close. Through the haze, he saw Müller preparing another Panzerfaust. But before the boy could fire, a burst of Soviet machine gun fire cut him down. He fell, weapon slipping from his hands. Ritter screamed his name, charging forward with a rifle. Bullets tore through him, but he kept firing until his body collapsed beside Müller's. The Reichstag fell that evening. Soviet flags were raised on its ruined dome, signaling the death of the Third Reich. Volkov climbed from his tank, staring at the devastated city. Fires raged everywhere, smoke blotting out the stars. Around him, soldiers cheered, but he felt no joy. Only exhaustion, and the weight of too many dead. Near the barricade, he saw the bodies of Ritter and Müller lying side by side. For a moment, he bowed his head, honoring worthy foes who had fought to the bitter end. Berlin was a city of ashes now, consumed by its armored Inferno. But from that Inferno, a new world was already beginning to rise.